not talking unless y'all giving me land and $2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes. You're commenting and you're subscribing. You hear me? We see each other. Okay then. Well, hey, man. It's JamiThatsMe here. Listen, I'm back to talk more about Married to Medicine as well as Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? Yesterday, I came to you guys with a video regarding Miss Porsha Williams, who went over to the Breakfast Club. She did an interview with them. I thought it was a really good interview, but you guys let me know your thoughts about it. You know, she went on during that interview to talk about her relationship with Drew and how things may be, you know, a little shaky right now. And that's because Drew is working with Porsha's baby daddy, Dennis McKinley, and Porsha doesn't really like it, or at least she doesn't like the fact that Drew did not notify her and tell her, like, hey, this is what I'm working with your baby daddy. So let's hear what Miss Porsha had to say about that, actually, for the people that did not catch it.
How are you and Drew?
Drew, you know what, Drew is, some people you just realize, okay, you just a little.
Is she still an ambassador of Go Naked Hair?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Go Naked Hair is Porsha's hair brand.
I can't put my hair on people's head and then they think they're me. Like, that's what I can't do. Like, that's what we not gonna do. You don't become Porsha by wearing Porsha's hair. You need to just enjoy my hair, take it out when it's dirty, and put it back in when it's clean. You know, like, you can't just like all that. She's an okay person, I think, for a lot of her friends. I think they love her. I think they trust her. I think if you're not her friend, you shouldn't trust her and you shouldn't be around her.
Okay. So with you saying you shouldn't trust her, you shouldn't be around her, and she is not wearing Go Naked Hair anymore, you were not at all, and I saw it kind of in the first episode, you're not happy about the allegations that she might be in a relationship or whatever with Dennis, your ex.
See, this is why I like Breakfast Club. You ask the questions that need to be answered, okay? So here's the thing. On the show, I don't know how it's going to come off again, because the show has to sensationalize things, right? So how good is it for me to be going through a divorce and I'm still jealous about my baby daddy? That's BS, right? So in real life, she actually was trying to film with him behind my back. And when
He's a music producer, right? That's what it said on the show. He's a music producer. Right?
We can start that for sure. He's whatever he say he is.
Okay,
yes, he is. He is a serial entrepreneur and apparently a music
producer, right?
Okay. But she was trying to film with him behind my back, and that's just not cool. Come on,
wait, film him on the show as a
film with him on Housewives. So it's just not cool, right? It felt like a setup for me in some way. And then also there was a Go Naked photo shoot she was trying to set up without me knowing anything about. I have to prove everything. Some of them fits, it's not fitting for you.
Right.
So, or some of them looks may not be given the look. So I would like to, as the owner of the company, be a part of any of that. So when those two things were happening behind my back, on my business, with my business, on my show, yeah, I have a problem with you.
So you didn't know Drew was recording with Dennis? You didn't know anything? You didn't know that they were speaking? You didn't know that they were talking until that first episode?
That's what they said on the episode?
I didn't know any of that.
So you found out right there in that episode?
What's so funny, I saw the episode and she was like, she asked him and I said yes, and she talked to me and I said yes, and I'm like, that's just not true. Like, I genuinely didn't know. Look, at the end of the day, like I told Shamia, if Drew and Dennis want to get together, I just hope she can do baby hair for Pilar. Like, I'm happy with Drew. I think she's a great parent. I think if him and her were to get together and, you know, they can have a solid relationship, that's good too. Just don't screw me where you asked me to come back to be. She had been asking me to come back to Housewives, and when I came back, this is what you had waiting on me. This whack storyline that y'all came up with.
Oh.
Yeah.
How tight are you and Drew?
All right, so y'all just heard it. Now, if you ask me, I don't feel like, you know, Drew had to let Porsha know that she was filming with her baby daddy. Now, holding hands in a club, potentially, especially if you want to consider yourself calling Porsha a friend, I guess. But more importantly, what I do think Porsha has absolute every right to feel a way about is the fact that you're trying to do a photo shoot with Portia's brand. Okay. I feel like you probably could get sued for some stuff like that. So I think that Drew would want to be careful, and Porsha has a right to feel away in that department. But Dennis has a right to date whoever he wants, you know, and clearly he don't give a damn who. But right, I don't think she needed to let her know, oh, hey girl, I'm filming with your baby daddy, hope that's okay, yada yada yada. But also Porsha feel like she's the HBIC. And she's in charge of the girls, so don't nothing need to move without it going past me, especially when it involves my baby daddy. And some part of that I get, but then at the same time, it's like, girl, he'll tell you. Okay, did they let you know that they were working together? So you're more upset about them filming with each other versus actually working with each other. I guess. But at least let the lady know that y'all over there holding hands and this could potentially be a relationship, especially since she knows you. And if you could potentially end up being a little stepmama or whatever to her baby, yeah, maybe you needed to at least tell her about how close you guys are getting. Filming, I guess. All right. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below about that. So Allison's sister, of course, I'm sorry, but Drew's sister, Allison, wasted no time coming at Porsha, letting her know, Porsha, girl, you're on a lying tour. I don't know why you would sit up here and create this story, but shame on you, ma'am. That's what Allison said. And guess what? Dennis wasted no time coming down to Miss Allison to let her know a little something, trying to check her. He tells her, not too much on my baby mama now. Okay? I would hate to push your sister album back. Now, it comes out next week, and it is a classic. So, listen. Can I also say, first of all, Dennis, I feel like you was doing too much in that moment. Well, it's a few things in my head. One, we appreciate you for having the back of your baby mom, because so many men out here do not have the back of the baby mama at all. But at the same time, I'm like, stay out of women's business, even though you don't put yourself in women's business by working and doing business with one of the women. I guess, but Dennis is making sure he capitalized off this moment, period. So if it's not going to be Simon Guabadia wearing Miss Porsha out down to the Instagram because he's over there detained at this moment, it's going to be Dennis coming in to be, I suppose, Team Porsha. All right. I guess only Dennis and his mother can say things or do things when it comes to Miss Porsha Williams. But Dennis, you are the most interesting op that I have seen. Right? And I've been trying to figure out a better word that goes before op. I'm like, is it the most supportive op that I've seen or what? Because you are also the same person that pretty much exposed the relationship that Porsha had with Simon. Then you also came back and started working with Fallon immediately after that situation. Or if you know what, if it was not immediately afterwards, it had to be around the time of Porsha Family Matters, somewhere up in there, but it all was within the year. All right, that we were learning about the relationship and everything. You partnered up and started working with her supposed op or whatever, Miss Fallon, and then here you are working with Drew. And I'm wondering what the relationship was like between Drew and Porsha prior to this. So maybe they weren't as close or whatever. And here you are working with Drew and stuff. And then now you want to show up and act like you got Porsha back. You are the most interesting op. All right. The most supportive, don't touch my baby mama, don't say nothing to my baby mama type, but I'm going to still work with your enemy type op that I have ever seen. Very interesting. All right. Very, very, very interesting. We'll see what the season has to give. We appreciate all of the antics online. I think that it definitely encourages the audience to want to, tune in more. And I mean, I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's making me a little piece of excited to slide on in here and see what's really going on with the girls. So definitely looking forward to that. But you guys leave your thoughts and comments down below regarding the whole saga of Porsha, Drew, and Dennis. Okay, there's that. Leave your thoughts about it. Next up, I do want us to go ahead and talk about Miss Kandi Burruss as well as Todd Tucker. You know what? Yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep moving forward. So it's such an unfortunate situation because guys know that they've opened up a few restaurants. They have the OLG restaurant, which is off Peter Street. They have one or maybe two in Camp Creek or somewhere in that area, I thought. They also have from last time I checked, I believe they have like a little location inside of, I don't know if it's the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or the State Farm Arena, but I think it's one of the two for OLG. And they also had Blaze Steak and Seafood, and I have yet to get a chance to go by there so that I could check it out. I have checked out OLG, the two different locations, like one over on Peter Street, as I mentioned, and one in Camp Creek, and I feel like the one in Peter Street is so at times, but the food is, they got a good menu, in my opinion, and I definitely like the one over in Camp Creek for sure. I have not been to Blaze Steak and Seafood, and I don't even know if I'm going to get the opportunity because, unfortunately, it is being reported that the landlord of Blaze Steak and Seafood restaurant says the former reality star, Miss Kandi Burruss, and her husband owe about $154,000 in back rent. All right, they're saying, according to the Georgia Department of Public Health, the restaurant's most recent health score from late 2023 was a 93. So they're doing real good as far as the health score is concerned. But unfortunately, when it comes to, rent and things like that, you know, they owe a lot of money. And I feel like there have been a lot of businesses that have shut down recently. A lot of things have changed. You know, people are losing their jobs left and right. Hours are likely being cut left and right. All right. Inflation is steadily going up. So people just, they don't got it like that right now. I think money is tight. And if you're not getting as many people in the doors because people are not making as much money and are likely trying to be more responsible with their money, then it could likely result in a situation like this where you don't have the necessary funds to be able to take care of rent and things like that, right? Is at least that's what I want to believe. You know, Kandi is no longer on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not sure how that is affecting them financially. I'm sure Kandi is booking more acting gigs, and with that, she may ask for a little bit of more money with her being SAG and stuff like that. She might see what they're willing to negotiate, and she might be able to, you know, potentially make the difference of some sort. But they also go on to say that the lawsuit was filed in Fulton County. All right. And they said the Montego Pacific Incorporated, I believe that is the landlord, said the restaurant also owes another $56,000 plus for repairs to the premises and the 10% overhead fee exclusive of interest. All right. They also go on to say that they are in breach of their lease and will have to pay an additional $12,000 monthly in interest until the back rent is paid. Now, see, I feel like interest for anybody, I hate that interest even exists. I really do. Because I'm just like, child, if the people, and that's on anything, all right? That's not just because this is Kandi. It's just any human, all right? Child, if they can't really come up with the 1,000, why would you tack the interest to make it, you know, an extra 500? I know, you know what I'm saying? I know there's supposed to be some type of penalty, but child, if they could barely give you the 1,000, what make you think they're gonna be able to come up with the 500 too? Like, what's going on? So that's how I'm feeling about this extra $12,000 they gonna want. If they can't come up with the X, Y, Z, what makes you think? So I would be trying to negotiate that piece down, like y'all tripping. But they also go on to say that Montego is also allowing Kandi and Todd and the restaurant 10 days to pay what is owed to avoid liability. All right. So that is what's being reported. Don't know how that's gonna pan out for Kandi and Todd. Don't know if they're gonna go ahead and take care of it, pay it, not pay it, or whatever. But we'll see what happens. I feel like even if they were to get it resolved and taken care of, I don't think it's going to hit the news or be talked about as much as it's being talked about that, you know, they're being sued for that amount. But you guys leave your thoughts and comments down below about that matter at hand, honey, because that is crazy. I did not know that Blaze Steak and Seafood was really struggling like that. I haven't been yet. You guys let me know if you've been, you've checked it out, you've liked it, you've not liked it so much, what your thoughts are about it. And also let me know if it's still open, because I'm kind of thinking to myself like, dang, if they owe that much in rent, why y'all still allowing them to be open? So I don't know. Some things need to add up, and hopefully they telling the truth or whatever. But we'll see. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. And we're gonna go ahead and move on, because what else I want to talk about is sweet tea. And actually, before we even move on to sweet tea, I want us to talk more about the looks, okay? The Married to Medicine looks. And actually, I don't really want to talk about it more. I want you guys to hear what Heavenly had to say, because it looks like she done drugged Dr. Simone and Miss Sweet Tea. Drugged them for filth over their attire for the reunion, and we got to check it out just a little bit, okay? So let's hear what she has to say.
Simone, she gonna have to go out of her way. I think that she should ride down to Camp Creek, Georgia, and thank Sweet Tea that her dress is not the ugliest shit today. Because usually she has the ugliest dress. And it is ugly, clearly. Clearly it's ugly, but it ain't the ugliest dress, okay? So she tried it. She number 7. It looked like she just... First of all, okay, her hair is the same damn hair she always wear, that tired ass bob. It's tired. It's tired. Simone, this the reunion. You could have did an updo, a downdo, get a new wig, maybe add some color. I don't know. But do something different. It just looks so plain. Like, to me, I can imagine Cecil having sex with her, because you know it's going to be plain. Like, it's just going to be vanilla. It's going to be plain as she ain't really going to try. I think that this is supposed to be a scene to make it look like her arm, but it's not a color of her dress. So they don't even match. Like this tan here, I think this tan was supposed to make it look nude, but she didn't really give a fuck. She probably just got out the OR and said, fuck it. Okay, all this shit here, to me, honestly, looked like a tied up sheet. Ooh. Or even toilet paper, if you will. Like, it looked like she just tied some shit up, and then she missed it because she's got a little opening right here. So she ain't even really tied good. But she has a cute smile. I don't think her dress is long enough. It would have been better if she had a train, but she just fucked it up with this right here. It's supposed to be the skin color, so you're not even supposed to see this part. You're not supposed, this all of here. Who did this? Who was your stylist, Simone? Because they fucked you over. My whole thing is, we're not the best at everything. We cannot be doctors and great stylists. Now, I know I done fucked up some of my looks, but this here, whoever picked this dress for her, maybe it was on a budget and she said, you know what, I got $150, make it work. Go to the Goodwill or whatever they got down there that kind of look like a dress, get it from. I don't know what they was working with, but if we all got the same memo as Dr. Mimi, how the fuck you get Dr. Mimi and then Simone in the same room? This here shit look cheap. It looked tired. It looked like she didn't even try. And to me, the bar up is tired. She wear the bar up all the time. She could at least try to do a new wig, new hair, new color, something. Shimon, we tired of vanilla. Like, this is why Cecil sick of your ass. This is why. Because you don't even try. You ain't even trying to be sexy. You're not trying to nothing.
Child. Now listen. For me, I don't disagree. The more I looked at Simone's dress, although I said the dress was nice and she looked uncomfortable with her pose, I actually don't really like the dress. And I am glad that she highlighted this little mesh part or whatever is supposed to kind of be nude. At least if it's not supposed to be nude, I would have preferred that it was nude. Right, I think that would have just elevated the dress. And then when it comes to the slit, what's the point in having a slit if it doesn't look like it's really, like, what's the point in that opening if it's not really adding anything to that part? I don't know who designed her dress at all. I don't know if this was a college student, if this was somebody that was like in a beginning phase of designing a dress. I'm not sure, but I'm not a fan either. And I also mentioned that I thought that Simone could have, made a different hair choice. I think her makeup looks beautiful, as far as face. She definitely looks beautiful. I don't know if she should have did a hand on one of her hips, if she should have did, I don't know what Simone could have done, but I actually ended up not liking her dress like I thought that I would. So I actually don't disagree with a lot of what Dr. Heavenly said. Yikes. Okay. But let's keep going because she did have some things to say about tea as well.
Last but not least, y'all, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. So last but not least, I ain't even gonna say nothing about this child. This bitch here. What? Let's just look, because I ain't gonna say nothing, y'all. What is this stance? The fuck? What? What is that stance she doing? Like, bitch, you act like, to me, she look like she say, hey, I ate. No, bitch. That dress look again like a dress you got at the back on wholesale and Heavenly Beauty. We had them dresses back then. I got them dresses for $20 a piece. They gave me a whole lot of them. There was the ones that did not sell in the dress store. That was the dresses, and I just took them because I had a store, right? These are like the dress. What you do not have access to the money. You don't. What kind of backyard bullshit is this? We at the reunion. Do you know what this? Last but not least, y'all gonna do it. I ain't gonna
listen, okay. Now, I will say this. I love the color of this dress. Okay. I love the color of this dress. I actually think the dress is pretty. I just don't think the dress is pretty for the reunion, in my simple opinion. I would have loved for the dress to have been longer, and I would have loved for the dress to have been tighter, like, more fitted, to complement her shape. I think that the hair kind of takes away from it just a bit. Makeup, pretty, face is pretty, but there are some small tweaks that would have made. And actually, for me, I like T's look better than I like Simone's look, in all honesty. But I do think that some changes could have for sure been made with her look, you know, especially for her to be like one of the youngest people on the cast. Not that you gotta dress like some of these little hoochie woochies. You don't have to do all of that, but it could have, you know, gave a different type of young, sexy, all of that, right? But love the color, cute dress, not necessarily main character, main cast member. But Dr. Simone, you've been to enough reunions yourself to know better, and you did it. But all in all, there's that. Y'all leave y'all thoughts on that situation, even though we did get into all of the reunion looks on a video from yesterday. So you guys can definitely check that out. All right. Now, in the meantime, I want us to, you know, stay on T for just a minute because she did do a sit down with Dr. Contessa. And I actually enjoyed watching this episode. For me, I liked that they did a lot of talking about their experience in the military. And that's one thing that they definitely bonded over. They talked about how they connected in different things. And although it does look like T doesn't have great relationships with many of the ladies of the cast, she does have a pretty good relationship with Contessa. And they have that big sister, little sister type thing. She may go to Contessa for a lot of advice, you know, not just with the military, but you know, medical wise. And I think that's good as well. So I did like seeing that. I like to listen to that. I don't know, for some reason T seemed a bit more relaxed when they talked about what she's familiar with, but then I do feel like later on, and that's just my opinion, guys, okay, my opinion is not fact, it's just what I observed, what I took away from it when I watched it, and y'all may take something different, and that's okay. I did kind of feel like she started to put on just a little bit when the conversation came to be about Gregory, although I kind of understand that's your spouse and you want to, you know, protect them and stuff like that, but girl, I also liked how Contessa kind of, you know, discussed some things too. So first of all, Contessa says that people think that the precursor to Gregory's action means that, you know, when he was talking to T at the table and stuff meant that he was going to hit her. And for me, I didn't really get that he was like gonna hit her of some sort. You know, for me, I didn't get that. I just got that he was being disrespectful as fuck. I felt like a misplacement of anger because you're in your feelings. You want her to feel how you feel. I felt like he was being a bit of emotionally abusive. You know, manipulative just a little bit, you know, cause telling her, you know, you're so naive and stuff. And then when you get upstairs and she comes to check on you, whether it was because she went up there willingly or whether production told her to go up there. And I do believe she mentioned that production wanted her to go up there. But even when she goes up there and you're like, it's your fault. As soon as she gets in there, right? It's your fault. It's your fault. And I just don't like the fact that as old as he is, and that's not a shot at his age, but it's just, you know, when you grow, you would expect others to mature and they don't always do that. You just would think that he would be wise on how his actions may make her feel. In that moment, she's just coming in to check on you, and you're like, "It's your fault. It's your fault. You the reason. You the reason I'm acting like this. Don't say stupid shit, and you won't get the reaction that you don't want to see, or something like that." And I'm just like, "Are you okay?" Like, you do understand that absolutely none of this is her fault. She's not the reason that King approached you. She tried to have your back in that moment. You were in your feelings, and what you gonna do? You already tried to demean her by saying, "Oh, you're a woman. What you gonna do? You gonna run up on a man?" Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And although I do understand some elements of that, I just feel like there's a way that he could have said that, in my opinion. And then what else did he say? You know, you're so naive. You're so naive. And then you get upstairs and then you continue to not acknowledge your fault in it. And let me say this, if Gregory did acknowledge his fault and how he treated T, I would have liked to have seen that more on TV as well. I wish it wasn't like a cliffhanger. Let's move to the next thing. You know, y'all didn't give us the cliffhanger when it came down to the whole altercation or whatever was about to take place. You know, you followed up. So, I mean, shoot, I wouldn't have been mad if y'all followed up and he acknowledged what he did wrong and had the conversation and let her know, like, hey, babe, you know, I was frustrated, whatever. And she probably would have just responded and said, I understand. I know that you were frustrated, whatever. But it wouldn't have hurt to see. But, yeah, I didn't see it for me that he was going to run upstairs and just pounce on her ass, or she was going to go upstairs and he was going to slap. Da, da, da. I didn't get whatever Contessa was saying. I just got, you know, disrespectful as hell, emotionally abusive, you know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes with T, she feels like she got to walk on her tippy toes when she's with you. And I just don't think that's how a relationship should be, in my personal. Okay. But that's just me. I don't care nothing. You know, sometimes people be married for years and they like to, cause I have had somebody in my comments like, that's how marriage is. And they say that, no, that's how your marriage is. Okay. Everybody don't got the same marriage. All right. And clearly I'm seeing that with T. But y'all get my point. All in all, I do want us to check out a portion of of T's video with Dr. Contessa, where she does kind of talk about Gregory, because she mentioned something about Gregory being attacked by a patient. So I believe that was something that triggered him once King was coming towards him. And, you know, for me, I feel like, girl, you don't have to have... She tries to explain something about him having a patient running at him, which is something... I guess that took him back to that place. I don't know. I'm going to let her try to explain it. But my thing is, I remember what I took from it was, at the end of the day, whether he's had patients running him before or not, like, you know, when you're feeling away in that moment, like, I mean, even if you've never had nobody in your life run at you, when he's coming to, I mean, you're going to feel away. But whatever. Anywho, let me switch over so that we can hear what T has to say about this, her and Contessa. Because I liked how Contessa kind of slid in. And she did it such a great way. I like how she kind of slid in and at the end of the day still acknowledged that at Gregory's big ass age, he needs to learn how to talk to his wife. And we're going to check all of that out. So let's get into it, okay?
And all the things that...
Gregory is hitting you.
No.
What you heard and what you saw was not the precursor to him threatening that he's going to whoop your butt.
No. Not at all. And so it's just frustrating. It was frustrating in the beginning, but like honestly, I was like, you know what, this shit is real to y'all.
But you
guys don't know. I appreciate people caring for me
and that's what they felt. That's what where it ended. The implication was, you're going to make me do something to hurt you. And so,
okay, guys, and that's what I need you guys to hop in the comments with and let me know if that is what you got from the scene, as the same thing that Contessa is saying. And granted, maybe Contessa did see this somewhere on social media. I didn't necessarily see that, but I definitely know for me, I didn't really get that he was going to put his hands on her for real. You know, I just got that he's just a rude, little disrespectful mother, okay? And they don't know how to talk to his wife, period.
For me, if I thought that, my impulse would be instantly two things. Like I told you before, if you are unsafe, my house, the door, the gate, the codes are open. That's one. And number two, in his house, we're going to kill him. And hide his body. We're going to have a brand new house in the back.
No, man.
But number three, you are not, right, currently, to confirm. That's because that's what people want to hear. No, and I don't know if anyone ever asked you that, but that's the part that I don't like about sometimes these cliffhangers. You got to jump on the perception. We don't like the conversation. Mm-hmm. You don't like that conversation.
Right, I didn't like the conversation.
You don't like the
conversation. But also, people don't understand. They didn't see, like, one, Gregory was going through a lot. And I talked a lot about this on my green screen. Gregory was going through, he was attacked by a patient at work. Mm-hmm. And he had a fractured nose. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Gregory was dealing with a lot at that moment. And also, like, I just told him, like, hey, I'll take care of things off camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to show too much emotion about this, because he was triggered. He was very triggered. And he's like, I'm just tired of people putting their hands on me. And I think he was more frustrated with that when we were having that conversation. And
that's what I was saying. Like, you could still be tired of people, or you still could just feel away in general of somebody coming at you, like, despite him having had a patient that, you know, ran at him or whatever like that. Like, I mean, even if that situation would have never happened, he would have still felt the way about the situations that happened with King. But I just felt like it didn't have to go as far because King did not touch you to take it to any police or anything. I do think it could have been something that you guys talked about. Y'all both needed to just cool down because it was a misunderstanding ultimately. But yeah,
on the table, like, I don't want you to talk about this. And so I was like,
and I don't know, tell me what I was upset. Knowing y'all and just reading between the lines of what I heard, and this is a problem for a lot of men. They have this thing about not telling me what to do.
Yeah, and he felt like I was telling him what to do because, like, I was telling him, like, I don't want you to say this and all that. Like, I was in the scene, but they didn't show that, you know, because I was even talking to producers while they were filming. I was all like, I can't really get through to him right now. Like, he's not hearing me. And I think that right now he was just having a moment. Like, you know, I think that he was really upset. And
you were telling him not to get upset.
Yes.
And you're like,
and I said, I don't want you to bring this on camera. And so he got so upset because I don't know what the producer had said to him, but he got upset and he went upstairs. And then I was like, Gregory, you know, you need to calm down. Like, I like,
because you're showing your ass right now.
You're showing your whole ass, and you
but
don't
see,
need
that's
to.
the thing that's interesting to me though, T. You're saying that he was upset with something the producer said, and you go upstairs and he still tells you that it's your fault. I just feel like you didn't do shit. You didn't do nothing then, you know, before you made it home. You didn't do anything in that scene, and you didn't do anything after that scene for me, for him to tell you that this is your fault. Like NIGGA, if you're upset because of some stuff that may have happened at work or whatever the case is, then you deal with that. You handle that. But don't try. I just don't think that's fair. And if he goes on and that becomes the normal for him, that's going to create a problem for you and an uncomfortable problem for you. So much so that you're not going to feel respected and you ain't going to want to be in this shit no more. I don't know too many women that's just going to stick around and sit around and let a motherfucker talk to him any kind of way. Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? Unless you a weak-minded, desperate, just got to have somebody type woman. Like, not too many women finna just sit around with this. So he needs to figure out how to manage his emotions. And just like Contessa just said, a lot of men have this problem and they need to work on that, okay? The hell?
You know, I said, I'm taking care of things behind the scenes. Like, I am supporting behind, but like for this, I need you to like wheel it back, calm down. But also, I think he was having a moment. I remember when the producer was like, well, just go check in or whatever. But me, you know.
But there also be, in the other part that people don't know, there's a house full of people.
A house full of people.
House full of people. And so sometimes you'll have these conversations behind closed doors when you're just like, fuck, you know? And I was, because people have sometimes scripts even about the way that they want to kind of let things go.
Do.
And it's like that went off the rails, but then
did.
it's like, and I felt like he was also kind of saying, you made it, you was antagonizing me, so you made it go off the rails.
Yes.
But you're like, fuck, I wouldn't.
I'm so glad Contessa is giving it exactly like I feel like she's being honest, even though she's being like soft with it as a friend. Like, let me give you I'm telling you my honest opinion of how I'm seeing it, but I'm also trying to, pacify you. At the same time, even if people were in a house, there's a ton of people in the house and things may go off the rails or whatever. T was very aware that those people were in that house. That's why she was whispering, Gregory, lower your voice. Gregory, da 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 da. That's why she was whispering like that. She must have forgot that mic was on though, but she knew them people was in that house.
Tag like, I was trying to make you look
Good.
Right,
look good.
And so you made you look bad, not me.
Yes,
but
right.
That's what I don't know. And I'm saying I'm not trying to put words in the mouth, but as much as that looks bad, I also, in the context of understanding that sometimes people don't always enjoy all of this. No. People don't always enjoy because how these things go.
He felt like he really was going to be harmed. And I was telling him, like, it's, we got you.
Yeah.
But people don't know, like, Gregory was attacked by a patient. And so, like, he was fucked up back then, like, over that. And I was upset about it, too. Like, person I am in my nature, like, I'm very protective.
And I hope I'm explaining what I'm saying. Like, it sounds to me that she's trying to say he was effed up by that because somebody else almost did that to him, but he would have been still feeling the same way even if that situation would not have happened with the patient. He still would have felt the same way. Even if it wasn't the patient, I feel like you're saying that, like, oh, give him grace because, this happened to him before and he's pressed about it. Like, it's not that, for myself, it's not that I'm not giving him grace. He just would have had the same damn reaction either way. But if you're trying to say that's enough of a reason for him to go and, apply the charges and stuff or not, I don't think the charges went through, but to try to apply the charges, then I feel like, one, Gregory has a right to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Even if I don't agree with it. And if there is a charge there for a person's actions, obviously it's there for him to utilize. Okay, you get cussed the hell out, somebody threaten out, slap you, whatever. Like, okay, yeah, you can get down for whatever terroristic threats or whatever. Like, they have created, charges for every single thing, so he could do what he want to do. I'm just saying that I don't have to agree with the decision that he was choosing to make in that moment when it don't even got to go that far. Y'all could just have a conversation and, you know what I'm saying, press forward. And I feel like as much as it may be a lesson or learning or whatever for Greg, it definitely has to be one for King, because I feel like if Gregory was a different type of nigga, King went up to him talking about, no, I'm going to let this slide. Like, he would have got wailed on or cussed out by somebody. Who knows? I don't think he would have tried that with everybody. But, anywho.
So regardless of it's being a man or woman, if you're my person, I'm there for you. Like, somebody want to come jump at you.
When I tell you,
let's
I was waiting for that to. Thank you, boo. Thank you. I got yours like that too. Because even on the beach they didn't show it, but I was like, Phaedra, is this real?
What we doing?
Like, because what's not going? You can't come on in front of all. We're gonna look like crazy if we just let this woman beat you up on TV. And Phaedra was a G. She was just like, I ain't scared.
Like, yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, well, but just So
wait,
is this
so
a drill?
Why y'all be giving different stories? Not heavily making it seem like Phaedra was afraid of Shireen, but then Contessa over here saying that Phaedra wasn't scared of she. This is why I take what Heavenly say with a little piece of grain of salt, and I just come down to just get her together, okay? Toya has also clocked the lies. It's just crazy. But you know, they love her, so they gonna eat it up. So eat it up and
Girl, like we doing this, we not doing this. Blink twice.
Like, what we doing?
So
that's all I was all like, so
that's
what y'all here for?
Yeah. So I mean, but it's crazy. It's like, but as much as I really, honestly, not to say like just condoning, you know, that conversation. I've seen and heard, unfortunately, in my life, lots of ways that men don't always speak properly to women, and they have to learn how to do that. And sometimes, even at they old ass gray haired age, they still need to learn. And be reminded because the things that their parents tolerated, the things that their mothers and sisters and the cousins and the friends and the people, and they just think it's okay. It's not okay. And it's
Thank you. And I feel like Contessa is having, in my opinion, how I'm taking what Contessa is saying, I feel like she's having this conversation with T in the most delicate way that she can to let her know, I'm not trying to come up against you, your union, your marriage or whatever, but I'm also saying that just because he's older doesn't mean that he doesn't need to learn how to talk to you as his wife. And I also feel like that's Contessa's way of letting her know that you don't have to accept that either as his wife. Okay, he needs to learn how to fucking talk to you. And that hasn't changed for me. That's what I've been saying, period, since we heard the whole conversation. And somebody was in the comments like, Jami, that's how it goes, though. And this, that, you ain't even going to say what the comment was, but me and my husband was getting the kiki out there shit there, honey. Okay, we was getting the kiki out there shit. She over there talking about like, girl, you do what? You do what to your husband? Then he tell you he will apologize and he hasn't apologized? Girl, you don't go on, but we appreciate you watching.
Not okay, but it's not okay because it's not okay. But not because people like grow up learning how to do everything right. I make mistakes all the time. I mean, I'm telling you, the world is, I am not proud as much as I think I was justified. I'm not proud of even being in combative situations on national television.
Yeah.
That makes me
you have
very
your weak moments. And some people get protected by their weak moments sometimes. Sometimes you don't always get to see really everything. Like there's times like last year I remember Heavenly and Simone got into it and I was like,
Heavenly threw a drink on the white girl's face, Carrie.
Oh yeah.
Remember
I remember.
And I told her, I was like, don't you ever throw nothing on me. Don't
Did
ever.
she react?
Carrie threw it right back on her. And they flashed back on it in like a reunion or something. But it happened. Okay. And it happened actually it was at Anila's party. But I'm just saying there's been so many times that people overreact. And again, I'm just saying I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. What I'm trying to say is as a Contessa, I'm talking about me. I have to I'm challenged with, as a doctor and as a professional and as a wife and as a mom whose kids are watching her, I tell them all the time, I don't believe in bullying. I don't believe in getting bullied. And if you don't stand up to a bully, they will get worse. I don't care what, I agree. I don't believe in that.
I always believe
and Contessa is not lying. And that's why when she be on Heavenly Head the way she do, I don't mind it. When T comes up against Heavenly, I be here for it. Okay? I don't know why they be sit up here trying to make that girl the problem in everything when it comes to T. It's like, girl, that's crazy. When Toya was trying to have a conversation with this woman to tell her about herself, like, you've gotten out of control. And it's like, as much as I love Toya, baby, you've gotten out of control too. Okay? A lot of times we like to remember just the fight that Toya had, but Toya, baby, you went on to mush the fuck out of Audrey in her damn face. And this is years after you got into an altercation with, what's that lady name? Mariah. Okay, you and Quai have been in each other's face plenty of times. You and Heavenly have gone at it. Simone, like, girl, you have done plenty of things. So for you to go sit down at that table and try to call T out for her, for how she was reacting or whatever the case was, that then when she was going at Heavenly, as she should have in my personal, because don't call me no BIT. Don't be trying to come at me when I'm asking questions. Okay, now the whole walking the king thing, I was like, no, girl, that's just like, girl, go hit on, go get your man. Don't do that now. Okay. Maybe you could have got home that little, just I guess that little piece, if that. But I just don't feel like also she was threatening in that moment either. Okay, so y'all need to check yourself. Y'all do this to everybody that be like, I don't know if it's because they knew or what. Like, it's annoying.
You gotta get bullied. I always felt like I was the bully to the bully.
Yeah, well, I wasn't. I believe this. One thing I've noticed is that people earn their stripes on people, and so if they see weakness in you and they think you're a bully or a punk, they will keep messing with you because it makes them look bigger because they've chosen somebody to bully. And so you gotta just be like, girl, you better keep moving. Like, I ain't the one. Keep it moving because they will. If they find that you will take it and you will keep taking it, then people. That's what I've seen. And I was my undergrad degree is in psychology, but that's what I've seen. That a lot of times, some people call it. There's two processes. Like you can do what's called a gray rock. Gray rock meaning that you become like this dead space. And so when someone's like, you're stupid, yeah, you're right, I'm stupid. You're dumb. Yeah, you're right, I'm dumb. You're ugly. I'm so ugly.
Right.
And then it becomes not enjoyable for them, so they'll move on. But for some people, and I hate that term like narcissist, but for some people,
they get
empowered by, you are dumb, ain't you? Now what? And it's like, wow, what is wrong? But that's what you don't know is the toxic undertone of that person. So then, not trying to psychoanalyze anybody, you sometimes have to secretly record or turn a mirror on them and be like, this is what happened. I know in your mind, you heard this. I tried to repeat it to you, and it didn't even, you didn't catch it.
Didn't register.
But do you realize that you're calling me stupid and dumb and ugly? And then they watch it and like, oh crap, I didn't know I did that. I thought you were trying to antagonize me. No, I was great rocking you. I was like, I was giving you zero response. But in their head, because they're not even paying attention to the situation. And so that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not, again, psychoanalyzing. I only have a bachelor's in psychology. But what I do know is that you can't always throw out the baby with the bathwater. You have to, with everybody, give people grace and time. Yeah. My daddy went to prison more times than I'd like to admit.
All right, so I'm gonna pause it right there. You guys can go over to T's page and catch the rest of what the ladies had to say, okay? And I don't disagree. I do think that you have to give people time. Do you have to give people grace all the time? Not necessarily. I don't feel like, I don't have to give you grace every time. But, like, this is what the hell I said I don't like. Stand firm on what it is that you don't like. This is what you need to fix. And that's just what it is. What the fuck I'm going to give you grace for when you know what you're wrong about? Like, I don't always have to give a person grace for shit. Okay? But I will tell you what you need to get together, period. And I think that's what T should do. Definitely always stay on business and don't let nobody feel like they can talk to you any kind of way. In my opinion, including your husband. I don't care what nobody's talking about. I just feel like there's a way to have proper conversations with your partner. And that's just how I feel about that. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below. That's all that I have for you guys at this time. I am JamiThatsMe. And of course, I will get you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand on my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL. Got them trying to clone me like ages. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I could face the rim. Putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man? They say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasted film. I can feel the pool